Golden, a rescue cat and the oldest but smallest of 3 Tuxedo Cat brothers. And am definitely the alpha cat. Ruth Ann and Mike decided a year ago that I needed companionship. Suddenly, 2 9-month-old kitten brothers named Pippin and Archie moved in. I have tried to be a gentleman, but it has not been easy trying to teach the young ones how to behave. It is quite a task. Pippin thinks I'm his best friend and wants to be my shadow and follows me everywhere. However, he does give nice head baths, so I cannot complain too much. Archie is another story. He chases me to the top of my scratching post, but just does not understand that I am in charge. He is a beautiful cat with long fur, so he has that going for him. My life would be much easier if he could remember that I am the alpha. I have shown them the best places in the house to sleep, how to meow for food, and how to give Ruth Ann and Mike lots of hugs. They have also taught me some things too, like knocking towels to the floor. We all like the 3 Seasons room where we watch birds and lizards on the patio. Pippin and I catch the lizards and have great fun playing with them. You should hear the shrieking when that happens. Gee whiz. What is wrong with a little lizard fun?
I am Uno Macrae. During my 16 years of cathood, I have had several homes. I am 9 pounds of beautiful black fur with a few splotches of white. Junella and John call me their Tuxedo Cat. I was born a feral cat, and my human's parents lived in Draper, Virginia, discovered me under a barn floor, and gave me a home, and I quickly knew I liked humans. Changes in their lives resulted in my going to live in Asheboro, North Carolina, to live with Junella's relatives, plus their 2 dogs and their 3 other cats. It was almost like a zoo. In January of 2018, Junella and John moved to Carolina Arbors, and a few months later invited me to join them in their new home. During the warm months here, I spend all my time on the screened porch. When it is cold, I move indoors, where I love lounging in Junella's chair, also in my cat bed or a fluffy comforter. I have several special places throughout the home that I love too. For dinner, I especially love human tuna fish and salmon pate food. Since I am a senior cat, they say my kidneys are not in good shape, so I drink lots of water. I still occasionally play with my toys and tear through the house for no reason at all. I love living with the Macrae humans. They are so wonderful, and they take good care of me.
The cats are Reggie and Abby Marshal. I've a magnificent story to tell about my early life that began in Boston 10 years ago. On a cold day, Mary was visiting her son in Boston when Missy, his neighbor's cat, went into labor on his back deck. Missy's humans were mean and did not care for us during our birth. Mary and her son found old towels and put Missy in his downstairs bathroom. She gave birth to 3 of us. I was in bad shape, barely breathing. But Mary, determined to keep me alive, raced around to 3 drugstores to find an eyedropper, wrapped me in a warm towel, and they took turns feeding me every few hours. 6 days later, Mama could nurse me along with my 2 sisters. Mary's son watched over us, and Mary headed back home to North Carolina. When we were old enough for new homes, a woman adopted Mama, that's Missy, and my 2 sisters. Absolutely no one wanted me, a solid black kitten. I do not know why, because I was a lot of fun. I was a little black terror, raced around the house, got stuck behind the stove, and loved tormenting my sisters. Mary's son, knowing his mother's love for cats, started asking her to adopt me. How lucky I am. Mary found herself driving to Boston to bring the terror home to North Carolina. She named me Reggie after the cartoon character. At almost 10, I enjoy being a crazy devil, am healthy and as playful as a kitten. I like to be near my human, and if she is out of sight, I cry until she answers. And no, I am not a big wuss. 3 years ago, Mary went to an animal shelter in Raleigh, hoping to find an older male cat for me to roughhouse with. While there, she spotted a female cat alone, isolated in a crate, non-social, and intimidated by the other cats. Mary opened the crate, and the trembling cat eventually came out to her, melting into her arms, purring away. Her name is Abby, and when introduced to me, I gave her a lick, and she became my little sister and a new toy. Mary claims that Abby is 11 pounds of love and is a major cuddle bug. Not my style, but she just stares and stares at humans when spoken to. Of course, she and I both understand what they are saying. Whenever Mary sits, Abby is on her chest and in her face looking for attention and love. We have Mary well trained, and she admits that she really loves her 2 fur balls.
I am a handsome and regal Norwegian Forest Cat with all the trademarks of the breed. Riley McCreedy is my name, and I am always in charge in the McCreedy household. Bruce and Shirley are a well-trained and dependable staff. 5 years ago, I was left at the Caswell County shelter. I was a big cat, weighing 20 pounds. Luckily, the shelter director called the McCreedy's daughter, who was looking for a Maine Coon cat. Even though I was not a Maine Coon, Shirley and Bruce immediately adopted me. A happy day for me. They named me Riley and promised me that I would live the life of Riley. I do not know who Riley is, but he must have had a great life. I cannot tell them how old I am or anything about my former life, but the vet thinks I'm about 9 or 10. 5 years of living with the McCreedys has been perfect, and life in Carolina Arbors is to my liking. I have a fabulous porch where I watch the neighborhood dogs walk their people. I play with my catnip toys and make sure dinner is served on time. Shirley tells people that they live with a lot of cat hair, but I'm worth it.
If you offer me pheasant, I'd rather have grouse. If you put me in a house, I would much prefer a flat. If you put me in a flat, then I'd rather have a house. If you set me on a mouse, then I only want a rat. If you set me on a rat, then I'd rather chase a mouse. Sit. Tiger is a curious cat, and there isn't any need for me to shout it. For he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about why.